We're going to look at this question by carefully considering the pattern. First of all, how the number of nodes increases, or the little circles. We've got 1, and then 3, and then 9. And what we can see is for each node every time, an extra 2 spring off. So basically, we're timesing by 3 because you get an extra 2 for each one. This one becomes 27. You can see that 9, 9, and 9. Because for each of our 9 nodes, we get an extra 2, so it's just 9 times 3. And then for our fifth pattern, which I'm not going to draw, we're going to get 81 nodes. Let's look at the edges now. So for this one, we've got 0, but then it goes up to 2. And here we can quickly count them to 8. But what is happening is we've got our 2 from before, and then for every node, we get an extra 2. So it's going to be 2 plus 3 times 2. For this one, we've got our 2 plus 3 times 2, but then we're going to get an extra 2 nodes for every node we had in the last pattern. So it's going to be 2 plus 3 times 2 plus, then it's going to be 9 times 2. So for example, this one here gets an extra 2, this one here gets an extra 2, and this one here gets an extra 2. So that's where this 9 times 2 has come from. So finally, for this 81, we're going to have our 2 plus 3 times 2 plus 9 times 2. This time, each of the 27 nodes that we have in this pattern is going to give rise to another 2. So that is going to be the total number of lengths. Now let's work out these lengths, how many lengths we've got, and also at this point, the lengths. So it says at the start, the original 2 lengths were 1 centimeter and then it halves each time. So I've got 2 centimeters worth from these. And then I'm going to get an extra 6 when I go from 2 to 8, but each of these is going to be a half. So that's another 3 centimeters. And then here, I haven't actually worked out what this is, 26. So I've got an extra 18 lengths, but these are then going to halve again to give a quarter. So that gives 9/2 or 4.5. And then finally, I've got my 26 from the first 3 terms, and I need to add 54. So that is actually going to give 80. So that is an extra, like I said, 54. That's the most important number, 54 edges or lengths, which are now going to be 1/8. That gives 27/4, or 13.5/2, or 6.75. So if I add up these lengths as we're including them, that will give us the total length of all the edges. I'm going to get 9.5 plus 6.75, which gives 5, 2, this is 15, so 16.25 centimeters. Now, just very quickly, there is a quicker way to do this question. I didn't spot it, but I can appreciate it now. Because we see that the number of nodes is increasing by a factor of 3 every time, in fact, this means that the number of new nodes is also increasing by a factor of 3. So for example, we've got 2 here, then it goes to 6, then to 18, and then to 54. So you can get that potentially quite quickly, a little bit more quickly than I did it. I was trying to use the pattern to find it. And because each length is then divided by 2 every time, what it's going to mean is that, right, I've got 3 times as many new nodes, but then I'm going to be times in by a half for the length. So essentially, I'm going to be timesing by 1.5 or 3/2 as I introduce my new lengths. And that is what is happening here. So you could very quickly extend the pattern as far as you want. In fact, this is called a geometric series when you are timesing by a number every time to get your next term. And then the series part is because we're adding them together. In A-level maths, you learn how to sum these. You could even look into it now. The formula is it's not too bad to understand. It's a bit algebraic, but yeah, I'd recommend looking into it. But yeah, that's a slightly quicker way of doing this question. And obviously we also get 16.25 using that approach because we get exactly the same sum.